Hello, my name is Oli Forsyth. I'm the writer of Brace Brace, which is going on upstairs at the Royal Court Theatre in a few weeks' time.
And I'm Lisa, and I'm from PlayGC Theatre Company, one of the co-founders of the Davidson PlayGC Bursary, which is supporting Oli's work. Things have started, haven't they? The rehearsals are underway.
Yes, very much. So there's no going back now. We are going. It's happening. Yeah, we've just started week 2. So we've had those sort of initial chats where you're working out, does this line work here? Does this scene work here? And we have just started getting to that lovely bit, I've just come from it now, where we've run scenes together, and for the first time you see one move transition into the next one, and the lines are there and everybody knows what they're doing, and you're suddenly like, yes, that looks great.
And is it how you expected, how you envisaged that then?
It's always better than you thought it was going to be, because in a room it's just me reading it, and I'm not a very good actor, and I'm not a very good actor playing multiple characters. So now you have pro actors playing the characters they're given, and they find new things every single time they read the script, every single time they're learning their lines. They're taking new ideas and new bits.
So you mentioned there that you're not an actor, but you've always had a love of theatre, haven't you?
Yes.
Referring back to your podcast earlier,
yes,
about your early theatre experiences that influenced you. So it was always writing?
No, well, I think I've always tried to work out where that happened. I think early on I think like lots of people, early on in my career, the idea was to get on a stage. And so that was to try and be an actor. And then you have that moment where you realise actually other people are better than me at this, and they take it more seriously. Yeah, exactly. And I think with writing, it just became it's like a little way to play every instrument in the band. You can sort of do a little bit of that and a little bit of this, and you put it all together, and then you bring in really talented musicians who make it happen, and you can see a bit of a bigger picture than if you were just playing one role. Because I don't know if you sort of find this, but I used to run out of patience for the part I was playing quicker than the other actors, because I'm like, that's fun, we've done that, now let's do the next bit. Whereas if you're doing all of them, then you can do that.
How did Brace Brace itself then come about? Was that I think was from a personal experience, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, absolutely right. I've been trying to work out how to phrase this, but when I was younger, long before I'd ever considered becoming a writer, I was on board a hijack playing with my family. And I was quite happy to just have that as an event that happened in my life. And I always wrote about other things. Yeah, a really happy time I was there. But I think in those moments when you become a writer, you're looking at those bits that have happened in your life. Am I going to use this? Am I going to use that? And I was always against the idea of using something that was so directly personal to make a piece of work. But not because I have an issue with that, but just I'm not that kind of writer. And there are writers who do that so much better, and they make work that is astonishingly good, based very directly.
You're very deferential about everyone else's skills being better.
No, they're all fantastic writers and actors. But I realise I can't really do that. I don't have. My voice is not very good at describing me. But where I think its strength lies is looking at other people, observing them, and taking those personalities and putting them into those situations. And so what happened to me served as a wonderful microcosm to put these characters into. And so Brace Brace came about when I had 2 characters that started talking in my head, and they were both on very opposite spectrums of an experience. One was deeply affected and deeply traumatized by what had happened to them, and the other person was convinced they're the luckiest person alive. And as those 2 characters started talking and started taking shape, the vehicle of a hijacked plane became a perfect way for those voices to be expanded out into a show.
I also want to just kind of check out with you about how being a recipient of the Davidson PlayGC Bursary has helped or been a part of that journey that they say that you've been through, and taking something to the Royal Court, which I don't think was what you originally envisaged, was it, for this play?
No, God, no, yeah, that would be
an extra bonus.
Yes, yeah, that's such a nice way of putting it, just a little bonus. Right? You're like, I think when I wrote it, you are just envisioning a world where it happens. That's the bare minimum. It was like, will this go on? I hope so. And then once you're into further conversations with the court, you start to be like, oh, it might happen here, this might be where it goes, and it becomes a bit clearer. But with the bursary, I think what that represents to me is a vote of like support and confidence from someone. You know, up to that moment we'd not met, and I'd not interacted with you beforehand, and so having someone go, "I've read your work and I would like to support that in coming to life," is.
Well, we're really keen to support new writing because there's obviously over many years there's been the funding to the arts has been so cut.
Yes,
so being able to literally see where the money's going is very exciting as a funder.
Oh, well,
I'm so glad.
it
doesn't just go into the ether.
I haven't seen it yet, though. It could be awful.
Yeah, well, we're not going to retract it, so don't worry about that.
I know exactly what you mean, and I think having worked in theatre for many years, I think we'll all be familiar with those conversations where we all sit around and go, isn't it awful that funding has been cut? And it's rare that you meet people who go, it's been cut, I'm going to do this about it. And that's such a enlivening experience, because I think most writers would say it's really hard to get together the mental energy to force something into life if you feel there's no realistic chance of it ever happening. People like you and the bursary mean that when you're writing these pieces, you go, that could happen, that does happen. People support this work to go on. And it's like spinach the Popeye. It sort of gives you a real drive to make.
Because you've had a few successes already, haven't you? This isn't your first play, but something like the bursary can make sure that you then get to the next stage, or help you not to dwindle away after just a couple of early successes.
No, entirely right, entirely right. And I think one of the interesting things about the Royal Court at the minute, the people they're bringing into the building, the associate playwrights, the artistic team there, are full of such exciting artistic voices from various stages in their career. So you've got really established writers who have been around for a very long time, and then you have people who 5 years ago nobody had heard of them. And all of those people, the thing they have in common is that they rely at every stage of that career on people backing them, people saying, I will put my money where my mouth is and I will make this thing happen. And it's yeah, as I say, it's like the lifeblood of making this work, is having that behind you.
So in a few years' time, we can say, do you remember that top, well-known international global phenomena that is Oli Forsyth? We were there near the beginning.
Exactly. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that happens. Yeah, absolutely right.
Great. Looking forward to seeing it.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.